sanctions and another million Iraqis in the war because they said the United Nations cannot be defied. Well, Israel has defied the United Nations since the day that the United Nations set Israel up in the first place. It has broken more international law, more Security Council resolutions than all the other countries of the world put together. And no one has ever lifted a finger to punish them for doing so. In fact, I often say the only punishment Israel has ever suffered is to be forced to participate in the Eurovision Song Contest. It's punishment, I know, but it hardly fits the crime. On the contrary, Israel is endlessly rewarded for its breaches of international law. Its leaders are treated as respectable statesmen, while the Hamas government and President Arafat, God rest his soul, before them were treated as terrorist outlaws, not to be dealt with, and if to be dealt with only through intermediaries at arm's length. The reality is that the victims of terrorism are accused of being the terrorists, and the perpetrators of terrorism are accused of being, or are lauded as, the victims of terrorism. And this has to change. But it's not going to change unless we make it. Our government boasts that it's the best friend of Israel in the world. And by the way, there's lots of competition for that title. You'd have to go some to be a better friend of Israel than the United States. But Tony Blair said on the 10th of March 2005, and I quote, "Israel has no better friend in the world than this country. Israel has no better friend than this Prime Minister." And for once he wasn't lying. For once he was telling the truth. And when Gordon Brown took over from him, he told us at the Anglo-Jewish National Fund fundraising dinner, he told us that he was an even better friend of Israel than Tony Blair, who regarded himself as the best friend in the world. Gordon Brown has sent the Royal Navy to Gaza. Our ships with our flags, using our taxes, are now steaming through the Eastern Mediterranean to sail the coast of Gaza. Why? To defend the Palestinians? To break the siege? To implement international law? To put pressure on Israel to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza? No, not any of these things. The Royal Navy has been sent to Gaza by Gordon Brown to help Israel stop smuggling into Gaza. Well, we decided when we heard that Gordon Brown didn't speak for us. And that if there was going to be a column of British ships heading for Gaza, we were going to send a different kind of column, a different kind of convoy. That's why a week on Saturday, on the 14th of February, from central London, outside Parliament, I will lead a huge convoy from all over Britain to Gaza with love from the people of Britain. We'll be led by a fire engine from Leyland, Lancashire, with ambulances following behind, from here in Bradford, from Bolton, from Stirling in Scotland. A big long line of ambulances, followed by trucks and vans, carrying all the aid that we can and all the money that we can raise. We'll pass through France, through Spain, through Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, until we reach the great Egypt. Some people ask, will Hosni Mubarak allow Galloway into Egypt? I answer this. If we have enough vehicles, if we generate enough publicity with this convoy, if the Arab masses from the Maghreb rise up to greet this convoy as it passes, if the people of Egypt greet this convoy as I expect them to, if Mubarak says no, we'll blow his house down. We'll blow his house down. We'll blow his house down when we arrive. I believe that not since the Second World War, since General Montgomery and the desert rats of the British 8th Army, has a column of British vehicles and Britishers in such numbers traversed North Africa. I know that when we reach Casablanca, I know because I've done this before. In 1999, some of you will remember, I took a red London bus from Big Ben to Baghdad. Millions greeted it every step of the way. When we reach Casablanca, hundreds of thousands of people in Morocco will greet us. As we pass through the Maghreb, people who don't have the freedom we have, who have to have some kind of license, some kind of opportunity from outside to be able to express themselves, will pour onto the streets. And you know, in the desert, it only takes a few drops of rain to transform the landscape. And we hope to be those few drops of rain. So I'm here tonight to ask you to be as generous as possible in the fundraising that's taking place here. I'm asking you to consider bringing trucks and vans on our convoy. There's still time to do so. We still have space for you so that Bradford can be properly and fully represented on this convoy. You wouldn't want the convoy arriving in Gaza and the Palestinians saying, "Where's Bradford?" I've got to tell you, at the risk of igniting regional rivalries, Bolton is already way ahead of everyone else in Britain. MashaAllah. But after tonight, let's have Bradford catching up on Bolton and overtaking them in terms of the great fundraising effort. When all's said and done, there's a lot more said than done. Everybody here can do something. Everybody here can give something. Everybody here has a duty